Starting the stream to YouTube. And it's almost live. Okay, and now we're going to go live to Facebook. Not hearing any singing, ladies. That's the shit.
I'm kind of regretting not taking a drink now.
Me too.
I can run it in there. Can I?
You can. I'm not going to drink it warm, so I should probably go up and get some ice.
I'll go get ice for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was my Minnesotan way of saying I only wanted to
Yeah,
go
that
get
was
ice.
very passive aggressive. Good job.
Thank you. I try.
That was her trying.
I try to speak y'all's language.
Literally.
That's why I ended up with an immigrant. She's like, yo, you don't love me anymore? Just go get me some fucking ice. And I'm like, God damn it, shut the fuck up. Go get the ice.
Fine. That's really fucking funny. Goes and gets it anyway.
We're
Literally.
brutal at home.
I love it.
And still do all the things.
And do.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a good relationship, or almost like a top tier relationship, because that's like the tender moments are more tender.
Yeah.
And like there's like real trust, you would hope. I mean, I know that in your relationship.
You know how much trust I have to have for someone to tell me to shut the fuck up and laugh about it? That's high levels of trust. Never had a man I would laugh about that about.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
I love to say fuck off.
I love saying fuck off.
When we get to 1,000 subscribers monetized, we have to take a word language.
Oh yeah. We have to wait like 15 minutes or something
I don't know.
into it. I think there's like a
We gotta look at all the soulless YouTubers. They'll tell us. All the moderates out there.
messaging me. I'm not getting you into my
All I need is you saying yeah.
What do you do when clients hit you up last minute?
Huh?
What do you do when clients hit you up last minute? Do you ever do it?
Do I get them the same day? Have I ever gotten somebody the same day? I think I have. Yeah, it depends. Now it really depends on what the day looks like. Sorry. Oh yeah, I forgot we're on.
Way to go, Ray.
Sorry, oops.
I'll only get someone in the day of if it slides perfectly into my schedule. If it doesn't, you have to wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, like if somebody wants a really late session and I had nothing planned, I'm not doing it. But if they wanted to like meet in the morning and I have nothing going on, yeah, I'll probably get them in.
Yeah. Sometimes someone will ask to see me and I'll be like, this is the only time I have. And they'll be like, okay.
Yeah.
They're usually...
We have no ice, so I put a shot for you in the freezer.
Okay.
But until then...
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Sponsor anyway, I gotta talk to them.
Yeah, we love this drink.
Right?
Yeah, we love it. It's delicious.
All right, we'll start now.
All right. Wait, have we been live or not live?
Have we been...
Gabe,
I
are we
think we've been
live?
Oh yeah, we are, and we have been
Okay,
on both
that's what I
channels.
thought.
So we want to say, apologies to any possible audience waiting.
Yes.
But yeah, so let me connect the chat. So yeah, we're going to be starting the show here in about 20 seconds. And as always, we love it when you comment below and get at us.
Tell us we're wrong. That's our favorite.
Well, actually, did you see the YouTube comment?
I have been turning away from just internet comments for the week. I just needed a mental break. I feel like I consumed so much negativity leading up to the election, but I will dive in at some point.
Well, I got my first negative thing, at least like that. I got a direct one. So someone wrote, and it was really funny, actually. Like, they wrote, like, Gabe, your job is to agree with what they say and to put them in a better light. Like, it was basically like, just agree with them completely and do whatever they want, kind of. So
Shut
it
the
was
fuck
funny.
up and...
Yeah. So then
How recent was the comment?
Recent.
Oh.
Like, it was like one of the, whatever.
Was it a
like
woman?
last 3 episodes. No, it was a guy.
Wow, I'm shocked.
Mm-hmm.
I thought for sure it was going to be a woman. I was going to be like, we tired of y'all.
Right.
From the election. All men. Not literally. But I think there's a whole swath of women who didn't want to look at men for a week, even though men weren't the reason.
Exactly. Women. Yeah. That's who I said. Like, honestly, if I had to blame someone for this. All right. Well, you guys take it away whenever you're ready.
Under his eye.
Under his eye.
Hello, welcome to Therapy Rebranded, where we're consistently inconsistent.
Ding.
Let's just get into some Reddits. I can't even.
I
talk
know,
about
bro.
anything else. I need to warm up.
Yeah, same. Okay.
One eye's been smaller than the other eye since he won. It's crazy. It's permanently twitching.
Where's my camera here?
All right, let's get it going.
Am I the asshole? I'm calling off my engagement after my partner revealed he is MAGA. Sorry, I had to do it once.
Good break from the conversation.
My fiance and I have been together since 2013 when we met in college. He struggled to get a well-paying job, and during his long bouts of unemployment, must have been radicalized to blame everyone else. Look, is that you? I chalked it up to depression and tried to get him help with therapy. I paid for him to return to school to become a nurse too, but he still has not completed the prereqs after 7 years.
Pause. Are they unmarried and she paid for him to go to college?
Yes. Get up.
Girl.
Stand up. He currently works gig jobs while I'm a nurse in California, making close to $400K a year. Damn, I missed out. Working a full-time and a part-time job.
I just want to say, if she's a nurse making close to that much, she's either like a nurse practitioner. First of all, she's probably a nurse practitioner. I don't know, or like a nurse anesthesiologist kind of specialty,
thing.
or she literally works 80 hours a week because she hates her partner that much, and half of her income is overtime. Yeah, one of the two. Because full-time and part-time jobs, crazy.
Nuts. In healthcare. I was hoping to save up enough to not have to work after having a baby since I cannot rely on him. We were planning to get married next year and wanted to try for a baby. Of course he does. He knows I am very liberal and all about women's rights. He never openly expressed support for MAGA until after Trump won and said Trump will help the economy, white knuckles the table, and finally allow him to get a good job. I told him that it was the easiest time to get a job in the past 20 years in 2021, yet he couldn't because he's a bum. I said that, not her.
He's one of those guys who thinks certain jobs are below him. Just go get a job. Just go be employed and work your way up.
Go to a temp agency. I'm not giving into sunken costs and staying, and he didn't know. But he did make offhand comments before on women losing their worth the older they get, and I questioned him, and he said it was a joke. Of course. The past week has been miserable listening to him talk nonstop on how great Trump is and how he will turn everything great again. Sorry, I had it and gave him notice to leave by the end of the month, and we are through. He said it's unfair and told me it's stupid to give up on us over just politics. The very fact he said that solidified the notion that he's so clueless and our values are too different.
That's the problem, that he voted for Trump.
Right.
That's
after
the problem.
11 years, bitch.
And this email, that's the problem.
Right.
It is a problem, but that's not the problem.
No.
This email.
He will likely have to move back into his parents' home or be homeless since he makes less than $35K a year in the most expensive region in the USA. Literally. Am I the asshole for throwing away my relationship of 11 years over politics? I wish politics was boring again. No, you're not an asshole.
Politics was never boring.
Exactly.
Maybe she means it in a different way, but I feel like at least most of our lifetime,
it's never been boring.
It's never been boring. I mean, I think you guys need to break up. So if this is the reason, this is the reason. I do think something about, let's say, for shits and giggles, that she really was okay with him being a bum. And even though she wants to be a stay-at-home mom for a little bit after she has the baby, but let's say she's okay with it.
Or even that he has a good job.
Or even
whatever,
that he has
if it's just the politics thing, right?
Yeah, but I feel like it's not, because she wouldn't have said all of this if it wasn't. He's not a catch.
Mm-hmm.
What if it was, though, for you guys is what I'm saying.
If he was a catch?
No, I'm saying he's not a catch. Like, what if he had a great job and he still voted for Trump?
Like, if you went home tonight and your significant other was like, I gotta say, I'm liking what this Trump guy's saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
can I be totally honest?
Fisticuffs, domestic.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, my total honesty is that if he said that he liked Trump for the reasons that she just laid out, I would think he's stupid.
Yeah.
And I'd be really upset about him being stupid. I'd be more upset about him being stupid than being a Trump supporter.
I totally agree.
You not. If she laid out,
yes.
if he was like, and if he said he was going to vote for Kamala Harris and he thought it was going to get him a job tomorrow,
you're still
I would
stupid.
be concerned. Like, this is
yes.
full stupidity.
The president's going to allow you to get a job.
And like, this is simply put, your fiance clearly either A, doesn't ever really want to work and so is perpetually looking for a job in quotes, or B, he's dumb as rocks and thinks that he's not and all these other jobs are below him.
Probably the latter.
And like, I just don't understand how it took him 7 years to not finish nursing school. I don't even know why you were funding that. You're also kind of dumb as rocks.
That's what I was going to say. And how the fuck, I think she added a zero or something to that 400,000.
I was just thinking that. There's no way you're making $400K, bro.
So I'm like, she has to have a special, like, she has to be like, what?
Well, she owns the hospital.
Like, she's on the board of directors. And this is her pool boy. Sorry. That's why she's spending it.
Yeah, so no, I also don't think you have to have a good reason to end a relationship.
That's the one.
That's kind of just like,
as soon as you don't want to be in it, you shouldn't be in it.
Can you sleep with the reason? Like, can you lay your head down at night and it's a good enough reason you gave up your partner? Then that's what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Like, this is,
unhappiness is enough of a reason.
It's not even that. It's just like, you already broke up with him. Like, are you regretting it? Is that why you came to Reddit?
People must be like, or he's trying to get her back. And,
the reality is that if you graduate in college and let's see, we've been together since 2013. We met in college. Okay, let's say you graduated college in 2015, and when you graduated college, you were 22. So let's say that you're now 30s, early 30s. Is this really about the fact that now you can't? Are you regretting it or thinking about it again because now you have to put your baby plan on pause? Like this,
you're
like
really resentful for that.
Yeah, or like just I don't know. There's something weird about it because throwing away. There's nothing to throw away. No. Threw away the future you sold yourself.
So y'all were together in college, and this is low key like when you're supposed to break up with him.
Yeah,
that's also just like what people say. But can you guys explain or talk about? Because I'm very interested in this whole like you don't need a reason thing. Because like I agree on one hand, right? Like obviously if you're unhappy, you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
But like just as an example.
It doesn't mean don't try.
People who ghost people, right? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I just don't like it. I'm just like out here. Like to me, that's a low character move.
Depends on the relationship to me.
Well, sure. There's always, yes. There's always
exceptions.
But I don't know. To me, just bailing when suddenly you don't like something for a minute, that feels like a losing effort in your life. Like over the long run.
It's not sustainable, but it's not about you owing. I feel like if you're trying in a relationship, it should be because you owe it to yourself or the relationship, not the other person. Mm-hmm. And so, like, when you say ghosting, I think ghosting is lame, but it's not because you exited. It's how you exited.
Right. It was avoidant.
Yes, so, 100%.
So I think, like, it's okay to exit for any reason you want to exit. I think how you handle the exit reflects your character.
Agreed.
I also think if you are leaving a long-term relationship casually or just like dipping out, like there's probably some part of you that was being disingenuous and like not being honest with your partner when you like started to not feel that way. Mm-hmm. There's no way after 11 years this is the first time she's thought about this. You don't think when she's working nights and comes home and he's on the fucking couch, she doesn't think about leaving? No way.
Right.
No way.
Woman to woman, she thought about it.
Yeah.
Had to. It'd be almost crazy for you to just make that decision overnight, kind of, I guess.
To be totally honest, a lot of women, it's not just that he's not showing up for you. There's also something embarrassing about a woman, like, explaining your life to your friends, family. And you don't have to, but it's embarrassing to be with a man who doesn't work. It just is. Yeah. It's really embarrassing, especially if you have, like, parents. Like
especially if you have people in your life.
This man smiles in your dad's face? No way.
And you make $400.
Your dad shakes his hand? No way. I don't see it.
On the flip, it's the same thing.
Your pussy gets wet for him? No way.
No way.
It's like the guys I know who, and like I love sex workers, right? Like I have no issue with all that stuff, but a lot of guys who are date sex workers and stuff, like you see that same kind of thing in them, you know, like where they kind of just struggle at family events and stuff like that because it's a defensive thing.
Sure.
So yeah,
I'm sure.
And it's not like this isn't shitting on sex workers. They're damn near social workers. Sex workers.
They are social workers.
Yeah. It's not shitting on sex workers at all to say that there are social consequences that come with dating a sex worker.
I feel like it's
that's
validating.
Not fair. Mm-hmm. That's not okay. Yeah. Like it's not how it should be in quotes. Mm-hmm. But like your partner is signing up for those consequences too.
There are for comedian, and as you guys I'm sure will encounter, there are for podcasters. Like there are like you put yourself out publicly, like there's gonna be shit. Like yeah.
Sure. And so like you are kind of eating something when you go to Christmas and you know your mom's giving you those stares. It's not fair. But I'm just saying like that shit sucks. Context. It just does.
Yeah, it does.
It just does. All right, let's do the next one.
Next one? Oh, you're doing the next one?
Yeah. Okay. This one was wild. I just skimmed it, but it looked just like they didn't like his wife from the start. Okay. Am I the asshole for bringing a dish from my culture to my in-laws' family reunion? I am 28 female and Chinese American. My husband and my in-laws are all white. On Saturday, they had a family reunion, and because my husband wanted me to go so bad, I made a traditional dish called, not going to say it, zhang long bao.
Yeah.
I'm also cracking up at the line of because my husband wanted me to go so bad, I made a traditional Chinese dish called this. So that just lets me know that, like, you knew it was going to piss them
There was
the
tension
fuck
already.
off. You knew this. Doesn't mean it was wrong.
No.
But you knew that this was going to get under her skin. You probably just didn't know it was going to go this far. My mother-in-law gave a bad look when I placed the plate down at the table. She came up to me and asked, "What have you got there?" I tell her what it is, and she told me that, quote, Eastern food doesn't belong in her home. I was forced to throw it out, and my heart was broken. Also, where was the husband when this happened? Like, the husband was like, yeah, toss it.
Also, like, the family reunion, and, like, he wanted her to go so bad. Like, he knew that, like, that would be a uncomfortable situation for her.
Probably. I walked out and sat in the car for an hour waiting for my husband to come out. Girl! Your husband's the problem, not your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
On the car ride home, it was mostly silent until he broke it with, yeah, sorry about that. My mom really doesn't like any culture outside of my family's.
Divorce.
My in-laws have never been directly racist to me before.
Lies. Yes, they have. You just... Never mind.
This is the second gathering with them I have been to, and also my third seeing my mother-in-law. I think that's so bizarre that you've only seen your mother-in-law like 3 times.
He knew.
Yeah. And then we have to go to the reunion. Did you guys travel for the reunion?
Also, calling my mom really doesn't like any culture outside of my family's.
So she's racist.
Right.
My mother's a virulent racist.
Right.
Sorry.
Very
I forgot to
racist.
say that.
Eastern food, it's like calling it quote unquote Oriental.
Yes.
Oriental's almost better. Eastern, it's like,
Barely.
you know where it is.
I just think the thing that was malicious about this is the fact that she didn't just let it sit at the table and nobody eat it. Like, I don't understand. This sounds like a buffet potluck style thing. Like, if nobody grabs it, nobody grabs it. Like, I don't understand why. That's the part that seems malicious. It's like when I went to my great grandma's house and I opened a present that I knew that she didn't give me. My grandma definitely gave it to me in like cupboard for her because she hates me. And I opened the present. I looked at her. I said, "Thank you for getting this for me." And she said, "I would never get you a present." Like, you don't need to be that cruel. I also left. I didn't stay in the car and cry. I just drove home. But, like, I don't know how you witness your mother be cruel to your wife and then let her go sit in the car and cry. Like, we're leaving together.
Because his whiteness matters more.
I'm going to say something kind of weird here.
Yeah.
I actually am getting a black vibe off this. Just in what I've seen, more, like, black families are more, of a matriarchy, it seems like a lot of times.
And Loki the third, Loki.
No, hold on, wait. Before we go too far, my husband and my in-laws are all white.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Apparently she felt like she needed to clarify. I only said that because Rachel was like, maybe. I'm like, okay, wait, let's not go down the
Because
rabbit
look at
hole.
the last
I haven't
paragraph.
I haven't read the last part. Okay. My family isn't happy at this, and my sister suggested that I divorce my husband and marry within our culture. Oh, so they don't like whites either. So you
Within
guys,
our culture?
You guys both joined together. You guys both came from families who wasn't gonna bend.
Support
your marriage.
They're not gonna fold.
My mom was never happy with me marrying him in the first place, and I didn't have a wedding because of it.
That's why I thought he was black.
My husband has a neutral opinion on the situation and acts like it wasn't much of a big deal.
Divorce.
Although,
Racist.
Hold on, pause. Does it add context that her family doesn't like him and he swallows it? Does it change the dynamic that they're both in the situation where the other person doesn't like them because of their identity and their families aren't supporting the marriage? Does it change the response?
So it does, and not a but an and. I feel like the power dynamic of like a white family versus like the Asian family is just totally different.
Hold on, wait. My husband has a neutral opinion on the situation, acts like it isn't much of a big deal. He said that his family didn't seem to care about our relationship at all, but I'm starting to think that he may have lied to me about that. Duh. Okay. So, sorry. You're essentially saying because the white family's white, it's worse? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Of course she is.
Yeah, I am.
I'm going to say in an interpersonal relationship, it doesn't matter.
I agree, but I'm just thinking about, like, the cruel, like, and, you know, I'm thinking...
I never come to white people's defense. And I really don't want to do it this week after Trump. No. But I'm just wondering if he feels, just like in the interpersonal relationship dynamic, I as a husband deal with your family not liking and respecting me. And do you have to do the same?
Totally. And when I think about it, I think about that, like, couples therapy episode where, like, there's, like, I think she's Korean, like, a Korean mom is, like, really virulently, like... mean to the husband, and he's also Asian. So I think there's also like that culture specific, like they really want you in. So I do get it. It interpersonally, it really does matter, but I don't think it's the same.
Okay. Do you feel like so here's where I feel like the white family, and this went one step farther. There's two things that went farther. One, like it sounds like she went out of her way to protect him from her family by literally not having a wedding because of how terrible the experience was going to be. And I don't feel like he protects her. Like, that was kind of the thing of, like...
letting her sit in the car is nuts.
Not approving and being outwardly mean, I think, are completely different things.
I totally agree.
And he picked a side by not coming out. He picked his family side by not coming out. And I haven't really seen that she picked her family.
Bro, throwing out a dish is...
mean.
Mean and cruel.
I have a friend,
and I'm not saying the Asian mom wouldn't have done that, but it's just like
she probably
there's something more about assimilation or just having to accept more. I don't know. It just doesn't. It's
I have a friend who's Nigerian that married a white person, and he was on the show, and her family tried to like influence the wedding, like the food at the wedding, because they were like, well, if it's all Nigerian food, what are we gonna eat? And they weren't paying for anything.
You're going to eat chicken and rice. That's what you're going to eat, like the rest of us.
And so, like, I think that there's this entitlement that is bullshit from the other family.
I have my biases, but I'm too hungry to be racist, apparently. Good answer. I'm too big-backed to be racist.
Maybe mother-in-law has trained all of her kids to be assholes, but I can't imagine me letting that slide where I am in... Where I am in-law.
Yeah.
And then the person responded, I have my biases, but I'm too hungry to be racist, apparently. As soon as I saw a dish I didn't recognize, I wanted to try it. So now I'm pissed that, I don't know, the JN mother-in-law made original poster, throw it out. I bet it was delicious. I'm sorry, original
that's
poster.
what I was like, that shit probably smacked.
Now that I know they're white, for a fact,
yeah.
I do see this differently, though. So, like, this commenter saying that, you know, basically he doesn't respect his wife enough to warn her or whatever. And it's like, to me, the way I hear this now, and I can say this because I'm white, there is a malignant, like, narcissist, like, some narcissism among, like, white moms like that, where they fucking control their families and, like, beat them the fuck down. And that especially boys learn, like, there's certain types, you either go like me, where you go just wild as fuck and make a mess, or you become super passive. And that's how this reads to me, is like, this guy would accept anything.
Yeah, as in, like, I eat shit from my mom. This isn't anything.
Yes.
Like, he probably doesn't even think this is a big deal compared to the way his mom treats him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's been treated that way forever.
Yeah.
So it's like, just, what? It's not a big deal. It's just my mom. We don't see her every day. We've met her 3 times. Like, let's just get past it.
If you met somebody's parents 3 times, would you marry them?
Yeah. But my in-laws would live in another country. Yeah. So, I mean, is that not different? I think that changed. It changes the whole dynamic because when I see them max once a year.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that changes it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did think of an extra layer to the Chinese versus the white family that makes the Chinese family. I'm having more empathy, which is that I'd be curious how much of their reason why they want her to marry within her culture is because they want her to be accepted, and they didn't think that this white family would accept her and allow her to raise her kids Chinese, be Chinese, act Chinese. And that's kind of how the family is demonstrating. Mm-hmm. So that could be like a genuine concern. I kind of was going negative, like they just don't like white people. But
I just want people to know that this is a big dick white man right here. Reading his response.
Is it Mellow Man?
Mellow Man 24. I have my glasses on today.
Oh, go ahead, read.
This here, I'm white and my Let me leave this here. I'm white and my girlfriend is Chinese. If my family treated her like this, the only reason she would be waiting in the car for me would be because I'm chewing out my family and cutting my ties with them. I would be devastated that my family acted like that to someone I love, which makes me suspect original poster's husband's love and respect towards her. My brother is mentally ill, psychosis, not developmental, so in my opinion, no excuses, and made an inappropriate comment to me about her culture years back. I've barely talked to him since, probably less than 20 words to him in the last 3 years, half of which are just happy birthday or Merry Christmas. No one knows that this is the reason, but no one has asked either. I've already told my family that if we get married, we will follow any traditions my girlfriend and her family wants. If they don't like it, tough, don't come. Edit. I just read original poster's only comment on this thread. I'll keep my comment here just in case someone has had a similar situation happen, but this post is probably fake and original poster is also a terrible person. What did we miss?
I don't know. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Why was this big dick energy? Because he rode for his woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's really if you're going, first of all, I don't even think, if I had in-laws that I saw on a regular basis that were going to be around my children and they didn't respect my culture, I wouldn't want to have kids into that family. Why would I want that to be my kid's grandma? Yep. The only way that would ever work is if I felt like me and my husband were solid and aligned and together and we had each other's back. That would be the only way that
and that
would
he was
work.
like, yeah, they can't be around either.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that'd be the only way. All right, let's...
Have you guys ever, sorry, if you don't mind, I have
Go
a
ahead.
question for you guys.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had to, deal with a similar situation, whether you're dating someone from a separate race or have you ever had to prep your family a little bit or
Yes.
warn them or whatever? No one's going to say something fucking dumb, are you? Or whatever.
Rachel
Anything
saying
like
yes.
that?
I have, but because, not about what, it is kind of about what they would say, but because he was just very different than we are. And so I was just give him space to warm up at the time, was my messaging, I think, to them.
Because he was awkward, or
More
because
details?
of his...
Yeah, because he was awkward, because he was quiet, because he just didn't join as much, and just was kind of aloof. And at the time, now looking back, I'm he was a dick. But back then, I was I'm trying to let him be himself with my family, but there's a difference.
But that's not about them sharing their opinions.
Right.
I've never had to talk to the thing I'm the most nervous about when somebody meets my family is that that they're gonna embarrass me to my family. I'm way more worried about that than my family. My family's not really embarrassing, but my family will really openly talk about politics and opinions on serious things, and they also are all shit talkers. They're all kind of will razz you and get on you if you show that something bothers you. If you're hanging out all throughout the day and you do something stupid in the morning, there'll probably be 4 or 5 callbacks about it throughout the day.
Oh yeah.
So if you don't have a sense of humor, it's not. And so those are the kinds of things where I'm well, I hope you fit into the vibe. If you don't, it's fine, but that shit's awkward.
I definitely prep people that my family's just a lot.
Yeah, I don't have to do that.
Yeah, I prep people. Yeah, I do. I'm I just want you to know that there's shit here that if you have questions, I'll just explain as we go.
I'll just tell people they can't do drugs at my mom's house.
Do you
No marijuana.
Do you think it's different for women to bring men home than for men to bring women home?
I don't know anymore.
I'm trying to think if that would
my parents never really cared if they were you can bring somebody home, you can break up with them. It was never a huge. I could bring anybody home and it doesn't feel like a huge deal to me.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel for the most part. Kind of. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the last one. Last but not least,
little buzz. My ex moved a homeless guy into the home, 50-50 custody. Hi there. I'm writing this from a throwaway because my ex knows my other Reddit account. It's throwaway for children. I have had 50-50 custody with my daughter for the last 18 months. Recently, a friend of my ex, whom I have known to be a creepy individual, has been moved into my ex's home. The friend actually worked with me at a residential treatment center for children where he was fired for being inappropriate with children. He had spoken to a child who he knew to be a victim of trafficking and pressed her for graphic details of this experience until the child attempted to end her life. He was removed from the facility. He's now become homeless and is living in a bedroom right next to my daughter's bedroom. I do not feel comfortable with this. I'm going to be contacting my attorney, but I just wanted to know if anyone had any insight. Should this be reported to CPS? Is this in any way an indicator that my ex is not providing my daughter with a safe environment? For context, my child is 3 years old. I am prepared to answer any follow-up questions in the comments below. Please help me. I'm a concerned mother, and I have had my own history as a child with abuse and neglect. My main priority is keeping my child safe. I want the courts to tell him to remove the guy from my daughter's living space. I am not trying to make it to where my daughter doesn't have a relationship with her father.
What do you think, Rachel? Is this CPS reportable?
Technically,
what is CPS? Child Protective
Protective
Services.
Services.
So basically calling somebody to say that a kid's unsafe. Could you call the
you
state?
could call the state. I think because he got fired for that, he's not like on a offender technically, but like you could call anonymously. You could call as the mom. You can call and actually ask their opinion too.
I think this would be immediately screened out. I don't think the government gives a fuck. I don't think that you can get your attorney to make them do anything, unfortunately, when it comes to...
On a hunch?
On a hunch.
Like, I mean, in a way, that's how they'd see it, right?
It is a hunch.
Yeah.
It's not in a way. It is a hunch.
Because it didn't happen. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. It's like... what is that? Was that Minority Report? Like, we're not in some alternative universe where you can, like, you know, arrest people because they were going to commit a crime. I think you're better off trying to negotiate and work it out with dad.
And actually, it seems like low-key this is kind of let's not avoidant, a different word, but passive-aggressive. Like, she just doesn't want to go talk to the dad.
Well, maybe she has talked to the dad.
Maybe.
We don't know if she's talked to the dad or not. I would freak the fuck out if I was split up with somebody and my kid who's like not old enough to really verbalize what's going on with them had a stranger sleeping next to them. I think that's fucking weird, even though it's in the next room.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that there's anything that they could do for you. I don't think there's anything a attorney could do either, because I mean he has 50-50 custody. I doubt that it's in like your child, like, who knows if you even have any kind of an agreement, but you probably have to have it in writing that you guys have to agree to who lives there and what's going on. But she has her own bedroom. She's being clothed and fed. There's no signs of abuse. There's nothing that the state can do. And that sucks. And the bright side of that is that they're trying to protect against like false accusations. I mean, like,
yeah, it's better be vigilant than not be vigilant, I think. Don't you think?
I know. I'm just saying.
She's saying it's like, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's a good thing that CPS can't take your kids on a hunch.
Oh, yes.
Unfortunately, it blows up for you in this situation.
No, it is a good thing.
But overall, it's good. Okay.
It is a good thing.
Comments. Sprinkle says, many state CPS agencies don't even investigate risk of sexual harm like that. Often there needs to be specific allegations of sexual abuse towards a current minor for it to be accepted for investigation. I mean, you can try to call CPS, but I think family court would be a more appropriate venue for this. Thank you, Sprinkles. I was hoping you would comment.
Sorry.
I've already contacted my attorney. I'm definitely very upset, and having you weigh in is helpful. I just want to know I'm doing right by her and protecting her in advance before something could go wrong. But I recognize CPS is more of a reactive agency than a preventative one, as is every agency pretty much in the entire United States. I'm just scared that I won't be taken seriously or labeled as a scornful ex. Very well could be.
Yeah.
Rachel says, I can only speak for Illinois, but if someone moves a sex offender in their children, that's an automatic investigation open, but he's not a sex offender.
Exactly, yeah.
Not sure if they would apply that here. There's no indication he was charged criminally, but I think he was probably indicated in the CPS investigation from the prior incident, so that may have them take a look at it.
He was never, unfortunately.
He was never, unfortunately.
He was never, unfortunately. He was just recently licensed by the state as a therapist, so I know he has to have nothing on the background. The other thing, and I hate to do this. I know
what you're going to say.
We don't know if he actually did anything to that kid.
Yeah.
We, like, literally have no idea. I literally work on a unit where false allegations happen so often that we have, like, a tag on the chart that says, like, sexual precautions is what we call it. And, like, we will intentionally not leave, like, somebody of the opposite gender alone with it because of that's how many, like, allegations have been, like, made based on this, that this kid has said. And so, like, I'm not saying that every kid in residential treatment who's saying those things are making it up, but I am saying, like, maybe trust your ex-husband's judgment just kind of a little bit. I don't know. You were married to the guy. I mean, you haven't said why you broke up, but...
And you said that...
That almost should be the question. Is like, well, what does he think? Or what, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
clearly he thinks it's fine, or he wouldn't have moved him in.
Right.
Yeah.
Because at bare minimum, I feel like if you're even kind of nervous, you don't move them in, but you definitely don't leave... I mean, your 3-year-old can sleep with you.
Or maybe
like he didn't have to leave it in the bed alone, or maybe I think if there was concerns he wouldn't have done it. Your best move, I bet she's pissy, and he was like, "Get the fuck over it," and like she's feeling helpless, and that's the worst thing about divorcing and co-parenting is like you only have so many rights.
Yep, you don't have a say.
They have says too. Like it's not up to you.
They get to live their life still.
They get to do it how they want to do it. You don't have like full control over that. So
I think I think that's what most women struggle with. Like I've
is.
now heard it like anecdotally from friends, and I lived it a little bit, but that a lot of women seem to struggle with. It's like they don't think ahead of time that like, oh, I'm not going to have control anymore, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And let me ask. You said, Rachel, that people can you can call into CPS anonymously.
Yes.
Yeah, you can call in tips. You can ask for advice. Like you can ask for it's like a hypothetical situation. So you can say like hypothetically if this is happening, and they'll kind of give you an answer.
Are there consequences for like abusing CPS in a sense? Like, you know, because I'm sure there's people who do.
No. They just screen people out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just kind of goes away. Like
it's like people call 911 or like call emergency lines. Like it's like that.
Yeah, just screen people out. There's no consequences for false allegations. You know this, Gabe.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't know that for CPS. Like, I wasn't sure if there's. I don't know. What? And then, did you guys see the viral thing going around where it says the number one indicator to like that increases the odds that your child gets abused the most?
Yes.
Did you guys see that?
I didn't. What is it?
Guess it.
Well, I don't know if
because that's what the video is that they have people guess it. Like, what do you think is the number one indicator that can tell that a child has been abused? Or what do you call it?
I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, I just want you to say it.
Just the existence of a step-parent. Just having a step-parent. So it was interesting just because there was a bunch of other things people were throwing out, but it makes sense. So.
Brings other people into their lives for sure.
And even if it's not the step-parent doing the abuse, it's like someone who doesn't care maybe.
Yeah,
or it doesn't value it the same way.
I mean, I think there's a lot of people who would molest children, but wouldn't molest their own kids because they think that's incestual.
And single moms, or single parents in general, I should say more single moms maybe, are what is called like prime targets.
Well, yeah, because predators are looking for somebody who's
they're vulnerable,
overworked, and relieved for the help. And when you're relieved at the help, sometimes you ask less questions, you think less intently about what they're doing because you're just so grateful that they're there to help. And I just think it's bizarre whenever like somebody who isn't the parent or like a close relative of a kid is like uber invested in them.
Yep.
Like why?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Like why? Even like my close friends who have kids, like I see their kid like I don't know, every couple months, and it's like with them there. Not saying I can't be trusted. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like the goal isn't for me to bond with their kid. It's for me to see them with their kid and hang out with my friend. I don't know. That shit's weird to me.
To any women out there, to any women, when I was single and I didn't have kids, I could give a fuck about your kids. Like, don't give a fuck. And I never was with guys who were talking nicely about someone else's kids. Like, normal people who want to fuck other adults do not give a fuck about your kids. So if they're that invested and it's fucking weird.
And it's a difference between being nice to your kid when you guys are there and being uber into like, oh, I'll pick them up from school. So I'll bring them to their thing. Like, being nice is expected, right? Like it's no different than being nice to like your girlfriend's mom, right? Like that's expected. And I also think it's different when they have kids because then they have a vision of like, oh, we could be a blended family, and they get something out of it, and their kids get something out of it, and they get help with their kids. But like, it's just
100%. It's fucking weird now, and especially in this environment where everyone's aware. Like, if there's someone like I like kids. I have children. Like, normally I would have no problem. Like, hey, I'm taking my son fishing. Your kid can come too. I won't even fucking like put that shit out there anymore, just because of the awkwardness. So anyone who goes through that is just odd to me, you know.
But it's this thing of like, and that's I think the vulnerability is like when you're needing help, they seek that out because I think you think differently when you're in a situation of like, my kid can either like not go to the sporting event at all because I have to work, or like this person can bring them. And I think people make the wrong decision and are like, this person can bring them instead of like, oh, that sucks, but you can't go, bud.
Yeah.
Like, that's where people start making wrong decisions, or like all the parents are going to this birthday party, but like you know, and you don't have time to bring your kid to the thing, and they're 5, and you just let their, you know, somebody from their class's parent pick them up.
Fuck
the dad,
you know what I mean?
You're close with the mom, but the dad takes them the one time. You're like, that's fine.
Yeah.
You're fuck. So my daughter just had
Russian
a birthday
roulette.
party, and I think of myself as so vigilant, right? And like so fucking on it. but she had birthday parties 3 weekends in a row. And
Just,
my
like,
son
tired
was
of it.
getting like annoyed with it. I was getting annoyed with it.
Yeah.
And he just really didn't want to go. And I'm like, you know what? I know these other parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's at a public, like, trampoline type place thing.
Yeah.
Or
So I'm
silly
like,
as fuck.
we'll
Sky Zone?
drop her there. Because they said, like, parents don't have to stick around,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, and I know those parents.
That's totally different to me, though.
It's not. But then as we drove away, I had this thought. I'm like, this is when that shit happens.
Somebody
like,
comes in.
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, in a way.
Yeah.
Like, and
In
so
the
now
back
you
end,
just
that's
brought
Sky
up the
Zone.
exact fucking thing.
Nobody's
So-
as vigilant for your kid as you're going to be. It's just not true.
Right.
It's just nobody's going to watch out for your kid how you're going to watch them. Unless, like, you know,
Yeah.
an auntie, whatever. But it's just, it is. Yeah.
And it's those friends' parents. I'm not saying them in particular, but it's like those
Yeah.
friends' parents are the type of people who do abuse your kid. Like that. That's what we know statistically, right? It's the
Yeah.
people you trust.
Yeah.
They
It's
work-
like she fucking falls and scrapes her knee, and then they take them into the family bathroom to
Yeah.
clean it off, and that's when it happens,
Yes.
right? Like, that's like the scary shit, too. And I think, like, the older they get, the less of those interactions can happen, and it's more the grooming and the long-term things, right? But I think the younger they are, the more that those quick, just, like, gritty interactions can happen, where they don't even really know what's going on. Like, in and out.
Yeah.
Even like I cannot. My biggest struggle in life right now is hiring a babysitter.
Yeah, that shit's hard.
Finding one, like, because just as a single guy, like,
Yeah.
whatever. I've had issues. It's a long thing, but I had one woman, like, girl who didn't want to leave. I'm like, okay, I'm home now. Paid you. Like, get out of the house, please.
And she just wanted to chat?
Just wanted to hang. Yep. And it was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I feel like the cops are going to come bursting in here any moment. Like, it just feels so wrong. Like,
Ew.
How old is she?
she's like 17.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's super weird.
It was a friend's wife's daughter.
She for sure is horny for you.
Oh, God.
She's a crush on you. On that note,
say this shit, but that's how it felt. Yeah.
Let's hop off the live.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have done it before that comment, but yes,
Oh,
let's do
sorry.
that. No, it's not your fault. All right.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you guys when we see you. Adam.
Like, literally, like,